Goodness, there's like a 10-second lag on my end. Alrighty. Is that working? Yay. Okay. The chair, the crystals, there's a lot of noise in the background. Alright, that's a bit better. Welcome, Scorpio. This is your August predictions reading. We've got quite a bit to cover. We are going to have a look at the month ahead for you, and we're going to focus on three key areas of your life. Now, I do have definitions down below of how I personally define these terms. We're looking at love, money, and your lifestyle. So if you want to know what that means, it is down below. However, I will be kind of getting into that. That's a part of your predictions. So before we start, I'm going to go ahead and tune into your energy. I'm also going to set my intentions as your reader. I highly recommend, even though you're the viewer, in order for this to be most accurate, set your intentions and just take a moment to focus on the sound of my voice. Spirit, please tune me in to Scorpio's energy. Please help me offer Scorpio the most clear, honest messages for their reading. Thank you, Spirit. All right, we're going to start by pulling an oracle card from the Celestial Bodies Oracle deck. Spirit, what can Scorpio expect in the month of August? What can Scorpio expect? What is their main theme for the month of August? Scorpio's main theme. Oh, okay. We have Capricorn. Interesting. All right, I need to stop touching that cord. At the back of the deck is South Node, North Node. So overall, we're at a bit of a turning point in our journey, Scorpio. We're trying to figure out how to continue to move forward. We're at a bit of a checkpoint where we get to enjoy the progress we've already made, and we also get to reflect on how far we've come. This is usually a very, what's the word for it? Kind of like insightful moment where we get a bit of mixed feelings as we think about what we've been through, and we also start to raise our aspirations and maybe redefine some of our goals or the things that we want to achieve in the future. And this does feel like it's about that because of Capricorn. Really, the month of August is about trying to redefine what matters to you and what's important to you and what your future could look like. The way that you're doing that is in a way that feels like you're not trying to put too much pressure on yourself, but you're also internalizing a lot of the pressure that you're feeling. You may be actually feeling a bit overwhelmed with Capricorn reversed, as though certain things are really coming to a head in August and certain things are starting to feel more real. Like you feel like you have a looming sort of deadline, and you also have something that makes you rethink how you've been spending your time and your money. Should you be taking your health more seriously, for example? Should you be taking your career more seriously? Should you be taking your family and your loved ones more seriously? Whatever this is, it's a very internal checkpoint, and yet there's physical manifestations of it that are there to remind you of that feeling and that theme. So with that in mind, let's pull some cards now to help us understand what's going on in those three key areas of your life. Spirit, starting with Scorpio's love life, what card best describes the energy in their love life for the month of August? Whoa, okay. Mercury. Goodness, I think Mercury might come out a lot. For some reason, this little planet has such a big influence on these zodiac readings, and I think that's because we've given it so much power. We talk about Mercury so much. Spirit, what is the main energy in Scorpio's, thank you, money? You have Neptune. And let's have a look at your lifestyle now, Scorpio's lifestyle. Okay. We have last quarter moon. At the back of the deck is Gemini. Okay. So Gemini could be significant. It's shown up as the sign, but also with its ruler, Mercury here. What I can say is, overall, it feels like the people around you have a big influence on how you're seeing yourself in the month of August. You're really taking on board other people's ideas, conversations. There's a bit of helpful comparison happening here, but there's also seeds of thought being planted as you have certain conversations with your friends, your colleagues, certain people. People seem to be messengers in the month of August. You may go down to the local fuel station or gas station, wherever you are, and you could be in your own little world thinking about something, and when you go to pay for your items, the person behind the counter might say something that you were literally just thinking about, and it will feel like, oh my gosh, like you've read my mind, you're a messenger. So there's all these almost uncanny feelings of the people around you, whether they're significant to you or not, kind of being messengers of confirmation, where what they say is really resonating with you and it's giving you food for thought. It's making you question certain things. It's also making you curious about other things. And it's helping you generate ideas about your life one way or another. These conversations are socially enlightening, like they feel really sort of brief, and maybe even it's just a little bit of banter or, chit chat, small talk. It's not uncomfortable, it's not awkward, but it definitely feels unexpectedly helpful. So when we look at your love life, it feels like someone is telling us something that helps us see our love life in a way where something's making more sense now. Now, you could be having conversations with somebody when it comes to love, and these conversations are making your mind tick over. Look, I want to say, whatever your Scorpio placement is, you're being even more elusive than usual. There's a funness about this as well, where I think that you're able to really just chat and chat and chat and talk, and it's a feeling of connecting with somebody in love. But there's also this feeling here of, that's really interesting, and only kind of touching on it in the conversation and then thinking about it for the rest of the month, and it's just in your mind. So let's start with love. Let's keep that theme going, and let's have a look at love now. I'm going to pull more cards out. What is happening in Scorpio's love life spirit in the month of August? And look, the month of August is the 8th month in the Western calendar year, so maybe that has some sort of correlation to you with your 8th house connection and your planetary ruler being the 8th planet. There's a lot of layers to what is happening, and you're taking things to another level of internal sort of reflection. But you're also feeling like when you have a problem or if you need an answer, it's right there in front of you. The server at the gas station or the fuel station is telling you your answer. When it comes to love, if there's something you've been thinking about, it's there. Like, it just feels like information is just finding you, and you don't have to ponder too long before you find the answers you need. But it's also just feeling like it's a little bit too uncanny is how I would describe it. I don't know if that word still has its usual meaning, because I think there was a trend of things being uncanny, and that kind of took the word to another level. We have Judgment at the back of Tarot. So transformations, revelations, realizations, a lot of Asians basically. These words are big, but they're talking about themes of transmuting one thing, like receiving one thing and turning it into something else. You are processing something when it comes to love, which in this case, we're trying to focus on romantic love here, Scorpio. But we can't ignore the correlation that your romantic love life has to your personal journey. And there's something in August that you're deciding for yourself. You're making the judgment to start fresh and to go ahead and do it. You're actually, because it's the number 20, with the number 2 here, you're making the decision and you're going ahead and you're doing it with this 0. So it feels like this energy is very transformative. Hi, Katie. Thank you for dropping in. Wow, that's crazy. I love that. That's exactly what we're talking about, though, is that strange thing of people being messengers as well. So this Judgment card says that your romantic love life feels like it's suddenly and finally turning in a direction because you've realized it's time. Now, there's been momentum behind this. Seeds were planted a while ago, and in August, you're going with your gut and you're saying it's time. We have a new beginning here in love. 1 Shields, the Ace of Pentacles in other decks, is saying that you're trying to grow something meaningful here in your love life by taking those seeds of thought that have been growing in your mind and turning them into reality. The Ace of Pentacles is about grounding your ideas, putting in effort, time, habits, consistency, and really slowly building it into an opportunity that you feel has long-term potential. So if you're single, there is a seed here that is being planted, which feels like a new connection forming. Or no, it really does feel like a new connection because we have the Warrior of Shields as well. So if this doesn't resonate, you may have messages in your Venus sign instead. But there is a new connection here forming, and it's really something that you're trying to take seriously because this person is showing up in the ways in which you said, you know, if somebody shows up and treats me like this and they do all of this, I'm going to go ahead and give them what they deserve. And that's what's happening here. Now, the same theme is occurring for those who are already in connections. We're seeing somebody treat you, Scorpio, the way that you want. And it's happening in the way where now you have to react and hold your end of the bargain. And there is a lot of communication flowing here in your love life. Mercury is also saying that there's conversations happening in the background about your love life. Could be a little bit of gossiping, but it doesn't feel malicious. It feels excited. It feels like people are talking about this new chapter, this new beginning. And there's also a little bit of, again, messengers, people coming through and just giving you tidbits of insightful information. When Leo had that, it felt like it was unwarranted. It felt like people were, you know, giving unsolicited advice. But for you, it feels different. It feels helpful. It feels like it's actually something you want to hear. And it feels like a conversation that you're reciprocating about your love life. So we see this opportunity. We see a person here who is showing us that they mean serious business, the Warrior of Shields. They come with a grounded energy, a consistent energy, and an intentional energy. And so we're trying to make a decision on how to act on that. And we're realizing that our love life is at a point where, again, it's a turning point where we need to start taking it more seriously and putting in more energy, more effort, and using this opportunity as that reason. So it's not too late is a message that's coming through. It's not too late to move forward, to have your happiness, and to truly focus on the themes in love that you've always wanted. There's a feeling here of a beautiful realization of this being your moment in love. And with the Six of Blades in the middle, this is the Six of Swords in other decks. It may have been a journey, sweet soul. It may have felt like a journey. It's taken a long time to get here. The experiences is what makes it feel like more of a journey. It's not so much the chronological time, it's the experiences that you've been through in love that have made this all feel like it's taken so long. And it's the fact that August is giving you a chance to actually move forward, no strings attached. You know, this is a beautiful feeling of peace and harmony, reciprocity, and no strings attached. It almost feels a little bit too good to be true. So don't let that get into your head. Your Scorpio energy can make you skeptical at sometimes. But really what I'm seeing is a beautiful new opportunity with somebody who is showing you all the green flags and giving you the right reason to move forward, to cut strings with your past and to embrace the opportunities to experience love in new ways, having hopeful conversations about your future and journeying into calmer waters, away from distress, chaos, and past heartbreak. But you're making that choice to do that. So that's what I'm seeing when it comes to love for you, Scorpio. Let's have a look at your money now. We have Neptune for your finances. Interesting. Neptune's energy reversed does match up to the other cards we're seeing. I also want to say when it comes to your love life, earth signs were most significant. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, but it was the energy that they were embodying that was significant, that serious energy. Okay, let's have a look. Thank you, Katie. That's so sweet of you. I'm so glad I got to catch you after all these years. Neptune's energy reversed feels very much in line with Gemini's curiosity, Capricorn's cynicism of trying to be careful and intentional, but also, you know, trying not to take on too much responsibility. In your finances, Neptune reversed is saying, don't get carried away with your fantasies and your daydreams and, you know, the imaginative things you want to do with your money. You need to find a balance of staying grounded as well. So let's have a look at what the tarot cards are saying about your finances in August, Spirit. What can you tell? Oh, another connection to Neptune, the Weaver, who is usually Temperance. Now, Temperance has a closer connection to Jupiter, but through Sagittarius, I feel that Neptunian energy. Let's see what else comes out though. Spirit, what else can you tell us about Scorpio's finances in August? Interesting. At the back of the deck is the Horse Thief, the Seven of Blades. Now, this card, Seven of Swords, I don't think it's a bad card to have when we talk about money. In a lot of different societies and cultures, your finances aren't something you usually advertise. It's usually something you keep personal and secret, and you don't want to, you know, have everybody knowing your financial business. So I think what's going on here is when it comes to your finances, there's something that you're not sharing, and you are being discreet about who you do tell, but it also feels like you're protecting other people's secrets. It feels like you're protecting other people by not telling people about your finances. So what is going on here? Gemini means that you're spending time with a lot of people who you would usually have no filter with. You'd usually just sort of spill your guts, as we say in Australia sometimes. And you wouldn't have to worry about filtering it or being careful about what you say. But for some reason, when it comes to money, there is a filter. You're having to be careful, discreet, and protective of other people's sensitive information. So the Weaver is a good omen in your money. This means that there will be good fortune in your money, but there's that balance of energy. You can't get carried away, even if, this is a sign that you could be coming into some money in August. There could be a boost in your income, but instead of spending it all at once, you have to be careful with Neptune reversed as well. We have to practice moderation. We have to practice patience, and we have to think about how we're going to slowly invest that money or spend that money. And that's why in this deck, the Weaver represents skills, patience, and that temperance of energy and excitement and human desire to experience things quickly, with the overall awareness that doing it right is much better and going to be more meaningful towards the outcome. So that's how you're seeing your money. I have to do it right. It's going to be more meaningful towards the outcome. With the 8 of Blades here, it is called captive in this deck for a reason. It's usually the 8 of Swords. When it comes to your finances, there could be things that you were hoping to do, wanting to do, but it feels like your hands are tied. Now, I think with Capricorn reversed, you're actually just being very strict on yourself with your money. You're being very, or you're bearing the consequences of not being strict. So it could be either way. Either you've created this discipline and you've told yourself, nah, I can't. Like, I know it's your birthday and I really want to be there to celebrate, but I can't spend my savings. I'm currently trying to save for a house and I really need to do that. Or I really need to pay off my car, or I really need to save up for that apartment. Whatever it is, you're either being strict and saying no, or you're suffering the consequences of not being strict with Capricorn reversed. And that's why it feels like, ooh, okay, I need to start being more careful and mindful about what I'm spending, about where my money is going, and how I'm making it as well. You are in a good energy when it comes to finances. Money wants to come to you, Scorpio. For the Weaver to be here, money is trying to find you. Financial opportunities are coming your way in August. So you do have to be in the right mindset and the right energy to receive them. You have to be ready to react appropriately when they come your way, and you have to know how to make the most out of those opportunities in order to really turn it into a blessing and a sense of financial gain, rather than just something that you burn through really quickly. So with the Warrior of Pipes reverse, this is our Knight of Wands reverse. No impulsive behavior. We're having to be very careful. We're even having to rein someone else in. You guys may have people around you who are not the best, role models or influencers. It could feel like everybody around you is trying to get you to just burn through your cash and live bougie and just sort of, spend money now and not worry too much. But really, with the Warrior of Pipes reversed, what I'm seeing is you reining in your own impulsive behavior, and also maybe having to rein in somebody else's impulsive behavior, either through a conversation or with Neptune reversed through some sort of heart-to-heart realization where it's like, come on, this kind of behavior can turn into a habit, an addiction if you're not careful. Don't get carried away with the fantasy of a fast-paced life or keeping up with the Joneses, because it is going to catch up on you. You need to take care of yourself, that type of energy. So that is what I'm seeing for you when it comes to your finances. Let's have a look at your lifestyle now. Your lifestyle will include your family and friends, as well as your habits, your free time, and even how you spend money in your free time. So let's see, what is going on for Scorpio's lifestyle in August, Spirit? Can we get some predictions about Scorpio's lifestyle? Okay. Oh. We have Maiden of Blades. What can you tell us about Scorpios? We have the Wish card. We also have Justice, goodness. And at the back of the deck is the Tower reversed. You have a connection to the Tower through Aries. It's a very, I would say it's a loose connection, but it's there. Mars, which is the card that the planet that influences the Tower's energy, is obviously Aries' ruler. But it just feels like when it comes to your lifestyle, the Tower card is here reversed to say that you've got to be very careful about letting other people lead you towards self-destruction. I know that that's really extreme. So this is where we're seeing more themes of people peer pressuring or influencing or just going through really challenging times. Like the Tower card is not a small challenge. This is a life-changing challenge where things are just falling apart. But it doesn't feel like it's happening to you. It feels like it's happening to someone around you. Someone around you, their life is falling apart. And you need to discern, well, how much do I help before I end up being caught on fire as well? So be very careful about people leading you towards self-destruction or causing you to burn out because they're expecting you to take on their responsibilities. I can see here with Justice that your relationships are really important to you in August. And when we look at your lifestyle, we're looking at your friends and your family. So it's really important to you that those people are safe, protected, but it's also important that you don't do too much, that you respect the nature of that relationship without burning yourself to the ground. You may be triggered because of your watery energy with your Scorpio sign to do more, care more, and help more than you actually need to. Someone in your personal life is really playing into your empathy, your big heart, and your good nature to get you to do something that you shouldn't do because it's not going to help them. Actually, it's a temporary solution. In the long run, it's going to make things harder for them. And for you, it's going to put you in a position where you lose more than you gain. Even though this could be somebody you really, really, really love, helping them is not going to help you. So there's a vicarious lesson here of how to avoid self-destruction by watching somebody else's tower come crumbling down. And with the last quarter moon here, we have the benefits of learning those lessons without completely going through those challenges. From a distance, we can adopt the lesson without having to experience the full rock bottom moment. Now, this could be related towards anything. It could, because this is your lifestyle, it could be a person's tower coming down. It could be their health. It could be their finances. But really, because this is lifestyle, it's making you rethink and be more curious about how to spend your free time, about how to take care of your body, about how to, create a sense of happiness, fulfillment, and purpose outside of work. And with the Maiden of Blades, it's making you very curious to the point where you're doing some sort of research and you're trying to figure out what you can do with the Wish card reversed to secure your own fulfillment out of this unfortunate, vicariously witnessed I want to say tragedy. I might be being dramatic, but I mean, it's the Tower card and I'm reading for Scorpio, so there's going to be some drama. With the Wish card reversed, I do think that your lifestyle is kind of pushing you towards taking better care of yourself, but actually trying to do things for you. Don't make it about other people. Don't let other people take that from you. You're only as capable and as strong for them as you can be for yourself. So you may uncover how you're making excuses about your own happiness and using other people as a scapegoat instead of focusing on yourself. This is some very big, deep sort of picture thinking about your lifestyle. And it makes you reconsider certain habits you have, certain dynamics you have, the relationships that you're choosing to sustain, and how to find more of a balance so you end the month feeling strong. You feel like the relationships in your life, platonic, especially like family, friends, are actually in a good place. Like you've corrected the order, the balance, and you've gained information that you can use for your own journey moving forward. So these are very big themes. To be a little bit more specific before we end your reading, I just want to say that when it comes to your free time, your health, your habits, and how you choose to spend your money, your mind is guiding you towards new interests, towards doing research, and towards trying to learn from other people's mistakes, which is helping you prevent things from getting worse in your own life and avoid tower moments that you see other people go through. That's the summary, really. So that is what I'm seeing for you, Scorpio. I hope that was helpful. That is what I see for your August. Thank you so much for exchanging energy with me and for tuning in, especially if you're able to drop in live. I appreciate you so much. Until we cross paths again, I wish you peace, prosperity, abundance, happiness, health, wealth, success, and joy on your journey ahead. Bye.